You guys are watching the 49ers Report. I am Cam Rogers. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. It is time to answer your questions in the 49ers Mailbag. Coming on in via Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. We'll start things off with Mr. Birdsinger on Twitter. Do you think the defense will do more for our cause than the offense? And this is a really interesting question, and I'm glad that it was asked. It actually got me to think a little bit. Well, which side will do more this coming season? And I actually think the answer is the offense for now is the favorite to bear more weight in terms of the success for San Francisco this year. But there are some key players on that defensive side. Buckner, Foster, I think the interior of that D is really, really good. Sherman, Ahkello Witherspoon, solid 1-2 punch at corner. And then Solomon Thomas could be a premier edge rusher this year if he does improve upon his rookie campaign. But for now, I am leaning towards the offense actually doing a little more than the defense, because when you have weapons like McKinnon and Richburg and Pierre Garçon, who's healthy again, it's kind of hard to go against that. All right, next question on the list from Bray. Who is the favorite to land the right guard spot, Garnett or Cooper? Let's take a look at my projected offensive line. I actually have Jonathan Cooper winning that slot. There's some buzz out there that maybe Joshua Garnett is going to be traded or even cut, which is an absolute shocker for me, considering this guy stole a lot of good headlines, right? Shedding some 20 pounds. He was getting ready for the Kyle Shanahan blocking scheme, and now he's a part of these negative headlines. So I'm going to put Cooper there at right guard. I think he'll be good for San Francisco. Has a lot of promise coming on over from Dallas. He has starting experience as well. So I got Tomlinson at left guard, of course Staley at left tackle, Richburg there at center, and McGlinchey at right tackle. All right, next up on the list, Brunil asking about the cornerback position, worried about McFadden and DJ Reed. So I see San Francisco having 5 or 6 cornerbacks on the 53-man roster. I think DJ Reed is in a better position to make that roster rather than McFadden, because Reed has that special teams ability and also gives some depth there to the slot corner position behind K'Wan Williams. So projected cornerback depth chart here. Sherman a lock, Witherspoon a lock, K'Wan's a lock, and Jimmie's a lock. After that, it gets a little iffy. Powell could be that 5th guy. DJ Reed could be that 6th guy on the list, which means McFadden could be out. But Tarvarius Moore, in my eyes, is probably going to make the 53-man roster as well. So it's a very iffy situation here for San Francisco. Obviously, this depth chart will change as we go throughout training camp. So don't hold this to stone at all. I actually like Tarvarius Moore a lot. All right, you guys are watching the 49ers Report presented by the Game Time app. Get up to 60% off all those last-minute sports tickets, concert tickets, and so much more. chatsports.com/tickets is the way to download the app for Android and iPhone today. All right, we got Pedro chiming in. Do you think it's possible that John Lynch will go out and trade for an edge rusher? Well, that's perfect timing considering my Brandon Graham rumor earlier in the show. And Pedro, here's a potential trade here, and it centers on Jimmie Ward. If the 49ers want to get out of that contract situation with him, send him to Buffalo, where Ward can kind of fill that void left there by E.J. Gaines. And then Buffalo sends on over Shaq Lawson, who I think still has some promise. There's actually some buzz out there that Shaq could be cut by the Buffalo Bills. I'm not so sure that's actually going to happen, but with Jimmie Ward, he's the 5th highest paid player on the team, has missed 22 games in 4 seasons with a variety of injury issues such as a broken foot and collarbone and last year's forearm fracture. So you got Lawson, who had 4 sacks in 11 games last year, and in terms of the long-term financial aspect, Shaq Lawson makes a lot more sense than Jimmie Ward in my eyes. So if San Francisco can get him, that'd actually be a really nice move from an ability standpoint at edge rusher and also a financial standpoint. All right, next up, Just EJ on YouTube. Do the 49ers have a real chance at winning the division over the Rams? I think they do. Now, the Rams are going to be a very good team, folks. I'm just going to tell you like it is. They have the pieces to be a Super Bowl 53 contender. Now, with that said, the 49ers have the pieces to be a Super Bowl 53 contender. So it's going to be a dogfight in this division. Here are some of my key games for this coming season. The Raiders, and then 4 away games at Seattle, at Green Bay, never easy, at Minnesota in Week 1, at LA in Week 17 against the Rams. That could be for the division. So keep that in mind. Very key game there in that final week of the regular season. But yes, the 49ers can absolutely win the NFC West. All right, folks, you've been watching the 49ers Report. I am Cam Rogers. I'll see you next time.